Welcome back to TokiCast, my friend. Come closer, because I want to tell you about the biggest lie that everyone on Earth has agreed to believe. Reach into your pocket, take out a banknote, or a coin, or simply look at the number glowing on your screen. Now look at it honestly. It is a scrap of paper, a disc of cheap metal, a few pixels of light. It cannot feed you. It cannot warm you. If you were lost in a forest, starving, you could hold a fortune in your hands and it would not save your life. It has, in itself, almost no value at all. And yet, for this worthless thing, human beings have sailed into unknown oceans. They have dug through mountains. They have betrayed their brothers, abandoned their families, invaded their neighbors, and built and destroyed entire nations. Wars have been fought for it. Lives have been spent, quite literally, chasing it. So why? Why does a piece of paper hold that kind of power? The answer is stranger and more wonderful than you might think. Money works because we all agree to pretend that it does. That is the whole secret. It is the greatest shared story humanity has ever told, and the moment we stop believing in it, it becomes exactly what it looks like: paper. Take a slow breath, and let me show you the dark and brilliant history of money. A world with no money at all, where a fisherman had to find a shoemaker who happened to be hungry. Shells and salt and cattle used as cash. An emperor whose paper notes astonished a traveler so much that nobody back home believed him. A hidden trick that has quietly stolen from ordinary people for 2,000 years. And a strange modern truth. Almost all the money in the world today does not physically exist at all. Stay with me, my friend, and you will never look at the money in your pocket the same way again. If this gives you a little wonder and a little understanding, leave a like and subscribe. It means everything to us here at TokiCast. Let us begin in a world with no money whatsoever. Imagine you are a fisherman. Thousands of years ago, you have caught more fish than your family can eat, and your shoes have worn through. So you go to find the shoemaker. Simple, yes? No, not simple at all. Because now, a strange problem appears, and it is one of the great problems of human history. The shoemaker must want fish. Right now, today, if he ate fish yesterday, if he does not like fish, if he already has fish, then you have nothing to offer him. Your wealth is useless. And it gets worse. Your fish are rotting. You have perhaps 2 days before your entire fortune stinks and must be thrown away. Meanwhile, the shoemaker wants a goat, and the goat farmer wants cloth, and the weaver wants nothing at all because she is perfectly content. Can you imagine trying to live like that? Every single trade requiring a perfect, lucky match of two people who each happen to want exactly what the other has at exactly the same moment. That is the trap. And for a very long time, humanity was stuck inside it. So we invented a way out. And the way out was beautifully simple. We chose a thing, anything, and we all agreed that this thing would stand for value. Now, the fisherman does not need to find a hungry shoemaker. He simply sells his fish to whoever wants fish, receives the agreed thing, and carries that thing to the shoemaker, who accepts it happily because he knows he can pass it on to the goat farmer. The chain is broken, trade is free. But what thing? What did we actually choose? Almost everything you can imagine, my friend, and the list is wonderful. In parts of Africa and Asia, small polished cowrie shells became money, so widely used that they circulated across continents for centuries. In the Pacific islands of Yap, enormous carved stone discs served as wealth, some so heavy that they were never moved at all. Everyone simply remembered and agreed who owned which stone. There is even a famous story that when one great stone was lost at sea during transport, the community agreed it still counted, and its owner remained wealthy. His fortune lay at the bottom of the ocean, and it did not matter, because everybody agreed it was his. Sit with that for a moment. Wealth that nobody could see, touch, or reach, and it worked perfectly well, because the community shared the same story about it. That is not primitive, my friend. That is exactly how the money in your bank account works right now. Elsewhere, cattle became wealth so deeply that our language still remembers it. Salt, as we have explored before, paid the wages of workers. In some places, blocks of tea, or beads, or cloth, or grain filled the same role. Even in modern times, in prisons and in armies, people have spontaneously invented currencies out of whatever was available, from cigarettes to instant noodles. Give humans any closed community, and within weeks they will agree on something to use as money. We cannot help ourselves. It is what we do. And money left its fingerprints all over the words you speak every day. When people traded in cattle, the Latin word for cattle was pecus, and from it comes our word pecuniary, meaning anything to do with money. A person's wealth was so tied to their herd that we still say someone has capital from a root meaning heads, as in heads of cattle. We already know that salary was born from salt, and the word money itself may come from the name of a Roman goddess, Juno Moneta, beside whose temple the Roman mint once stood. Think about that, my friend. Every time you discuss your salary, or your capital, or simply your money, you are speaking the ghosts of cattle, salt, and an ancient temple. But over the centuries, one kind of money began to win everywhere, and you can guess what it was: metal. Gold and silver had exactly the qualities money needs. They do not rot like fish. They can be divided into small pieces without ruining them, unlike a cow. They are rare enough to be worth something, and beautiful enough that everyone wanted them anyway. So people began trading in lumps and rings and bars of precious metal. But that created a new headache. Every single time you traded, you had to weigh the metal, and worse, you had to test whether it was pure or secretly mixed with something cheap. Every transaction became an argument between two suspicious people and a set of scales. And so, around 2,500 years ago, in a kingdom called Lydia in what is now Turkey, someone had a genuinely world-changing idea. They took a small, standard lump of precious metal and they stamped a picture on it, the mark of the king. That stamp changed everything. It was a promise. It said, "The ruler himself guarantees that this piece weighs what it should and is as pure as it should be." You no longer had to weigh it. You no longer had to test it. You could simply count. The coin was born, and it spread across the world like fire. And notice what had quietly happened, my friend. The value of that coin now rested not only on the metal, but on trust in the person whose face was stamped upon it. Money had become, for the first time, a matter of belief in authority. Which brings us to the trick, the oldest, quietest financial trick in human history. And once you see it, you will see it everywhere, including today. Imagine you are a ruler. You need money for a war, or a palace, or a crisis. But you have no more silver. What do? You call in every coin you can, melt them down, and mix the silver with a cheaper metal. Now you can make 120 coins where you once had 100. They look identical. They carry the same royal face. And you have magically created new money out of nothing. This is called debasement, and rulers have done it again and again across the centuries. The Roman Empire famously did it over generations, until coins that had once been almost pure silver contained barely a trace of it. And what happens when there is suddenly far more money chasing the same amount of bread and wine? Prices rise. That is all inflation really is. Not a mysterious force, but a simple consequence. And the cruelest part is, who pays for it? Not the ruler. The ordinary family, whose savings quietly buy less and less each year, without anybody ever taking a single coin from their hands. Can you imagine being a Roman farmer, watching the price of grain climb year after year, and having no idea why? You had not been robbed, nothing had been taken from you, and yet you were poorer, because someone far away had changed the recipe of the coins in your purse. And here is the bitter irony of that trick. While rulers were quietly watering down the coins themselves, the punishment for an ordinary person who dared to do the same was almost unimaginably harsh. Across history, counterfeiting and coin clipping, the practice of shaving tiny slivers of silver from the edges of coins, were treated not as simple theft, but as an attack on the state itself. In many places, it carried the most severe penalties the law allowed, including death. Some rulers ordered the hands of forgers cut off. This is also why, to this day, many coins have those small ridges around the edge. They were introduced so that anyone could see at a glance whether a coin had been shaved. So the same act was a crime punishable by death when a poor man did it in a cellar, and simply policy when a king did it in a palace. Money has always been about power just as much as value. Now let us jump to something that seems obvious to you and was once utterly unbelievable: paper money. Metal coins had a very practical problem. They were heavy. A merchant traveling with a fortune needed guards and carts, and every bandit on the road knew exactly what he was carrying. So people began leaving their metal with someone trustworthy, a temple, a goldsmith, a merchant house, and receiving a written note in return. The note said, "Whoever holds this paper may collect this much gold from us." And then came the leap. People realized they did not need to collect the gold at all. They could simply hand the note itself to someone else and let them collect it. The paper began circulating in place of the metal, and most of the gold sat in the vault, year after year, never moving. China took this idea furthest and earliest, developing government-issued paper currency centuries before Europe. And when a European traveler returned home, describing an emperor whose subjects happily traded goods for pieces of printed paper, people simply did not believe him. It sounded absurd. Paper for silk? Paper for horses? It sounded like sorcery, or a lie. They were wrong, of course, but notice why they thought it was madness. Because they understood something we have forgotten. Paper money only works if everyone believes in it. Break the belief, and the paper is just paper. Several early experiments with paper money collapsed for exactly that reason, when governments printed too much and the story stopped being believable. For centuries afterwards, the world tried to keep one foot on solid ground. Paper money remained a promise, backed by real gold sitting in vaults. Your note was a claim ticket. In theory, you could walk into a bank and exchange it for metal. And then, in the 20th century, that final link was cut. Nation after nation stepped away from gold until the world settled into the system you live in now. So let us be very clear about what that means, because it is genuinely astonishing. The money in your pocket today is not backed by gold. It is not backed by silver or grain or anything you could hold. It is backed by trust. Trust in a government, trust in a system, and above all, trust that everyone else will keep accepting it tomorrow. That is the entire foundation: belief. And when that belief breaks, the results are terrifying, and history has shown us exactly what it looks like. In Germany, in the early 1920s, the currency collapsed so completely that prices doubled in days, and then in hours. Photographs from the time show children playing with bricks made of banknotes, and people carrying their wages home in wheelbarrows and laundry baskets. There are accounts of workers being paid twice a day so they could rush out and spend the money before it lost value by the evening. A famous story tells of a man who left a basket of cash outside for a moment and returned to find that the thief had tipped out the money and stolen the basket. Read that again. The basket was worth more than the money inside it. And it has happened elsewhere too, whenever a government printed far more money than the story could carry. Nothing physical had changed. The paper was the same paper. The people were the same people. Only the belief had died, and when the belief died, the money died with it. And it goes further still, because most of the money in the world today has no physical form whatsoever. It is not paper, not metal, not anything. It is numbers in databases. When you tap your card, no cash travels anywhere. One number decreases, another increases. That is the entire event. Even more surprising is where that money comes from. Most people imagine governments print all the money, but in the modern system, the great majority of money is actually created by ordinary banks in the act of lending. When a bank grants a loan, it does not hand over a pile of someone else's savings. It creates a new deposit, a new number, and that new money enters the world. Which means the money in your account is, in a very real sense, made of promises. Promises to repay, recorded as numbers, trusted by everyone. We have traveled all the way from a fisherman with rotting fish to a civilization running on shared belief. And honestly, my friend, it is one of the most remarkable things our species has ever done. So let us look back at the strange road we have walked together. We began in a world with no money, trapped in the impossible search for someone who wanted exactly what we had. We watched humanity invent a way out, using shells, cattle, salt, and stones so heavy they were never moved. We saw metal win, and then a king's stamp turned metal into trust. We uncovered the ancient trick of quietly watering down the coins and the invisible theft that follows. We followed heavy gold into vaults and watched the receipts themselves become money. And we arrived here, in a world where the money is numbers, and the numbers are promises, and the promises hold only because we all keep agreeing that they do. And here is the quiet part. The part that is really about you. Money is not real. Not in the way a tree is real, or a stone, or a loaf of bread. Money is a story. Perhaps the most successful story ever told, believed by billions of strangers who will never meet, and powerful enough to move mountains and topple kings. But here is what I want you to take from that, and it is not cynical, it is freeing. If money is a story we invented, then money is a tool. It is not a scoreboard for your worth as a human being. The number attached to your name is not a measurement of your value, your kindness, your courage, or how deeply you are loved. It is an agreement about exchange, nothing more. Money can buy a house, but cannot fill it. It can buy a bed, but not sleep, a clock, but not time, a companion, but not affection. It is astonishingly powerful for what it was designed to do, and completely powerless everywhere else. So use it, respect it, understand it, because understanding it protects you. But do not ever let a story we invented tell you what you are worth. The most valuable things in your life were never for sale, and no amount of paper, metal, or glowing numbers could ever have bought them. Now tell me, which part surprised you the most? The stone money at the bottom of the sea, the emperors quietly watering down their coins, or the fact that most money today does not physically exist at all? Write it in the comments below. I truly love hearing which part stayed with you. And before you go, a small riddle for our next story. Picture something that rules almost every hour of your life. Though you cannot see it, hold it, or hear it. Your ancestors lived by the sun and the seasons and needed nothing more. Then we built a small machine to measure it, And slowly, quietly, that machine began to command us instead. We now wake to it, work to it, and hurry through our days because of it. What could it be? Come back soon, and we will find out together. Until then, take care of yourself, my friend. This has been TokiCast, where the small things quietly change the world. I'll see you soon.